Previously on the Reckoning series. With back-to-back wins at the start of the 2013 season, Dynasty struggles to continue this pattern, taking a second place and not making it past the prelims in the last two events. However, they walk away with the series championship and are coming into 2014 looking to defend their title.
Hey, let's go, man! This is not over!
Step the fuck up or go the fuck home.
They came up to us, we lend out our hand. They spit in your face, this is your promised land. Hey, where did survival go? We saw them pack up their bags and watch the harder body go. We're all dead men here after all. We're all dead men, we're all dead. We're all dead men here after all. Got time to kill, got time to spare. We're all dead men here after all. We're all dead men here after all. Always here to lend a dying hand.
At World Cup, I said, I really like to be at 9 players. I don't know how to get there because everyone we have is good. So we're not going to cut someone. We cut someone, they're going to go to another team. I like every single player on the team. And it's not about a playing ability that we have too. It's about the guys that we have. We like everyone on the team. We like when they're around and it's fun. It's a good experience. So if no one leaves the team, then we'll stay at 10. Dalton made the move over to damage and we got to 9. Sad to lose Dalton. Most of it's not playing ability that we miss, it's the personalities and the friendships.
Losing Dalton was, a little bit of a tear, a little bit of a, rip out of the heart kind of feeling. You put so much time into a person and you enjoy their company so much. It's, losing someone like that's like a death in the family. But we knew that something like that is just bound to happen, the way the team was going, the way that we educate these kids and the knowledge we give them, they're primed for the picking for some teams that have money. It was a little bit sad, but I understand why he left, and going into this year, it wasn't really that big of a deal. I think it was a good thing in a little bit because we learned that 9 is kind of a proper formula instead of running 2 lines.
Going into Dallas, my wife wanted me to put some focus on the family, and we kind of looked at it, and I was spending more time on the weekends with the team than I was during the week with my own kids. I had to commit to my family first.
So I knew going into 2014 that Rusty might not be there as much as he was in 2013. Basically, Rusty is a family, and paintball is second now on his list of priorities. Maybe it's even 3, 4, or 5, but it's not his #1 priority anymore. And you have to respect that because, that's just the reality. He's a dad now with 2 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife. And we want Rusty around, so that's just part of what the situation is. If you want Rusty, you have to understand that family's first and whatever else, so.
Everybody on the team, I felt, had a really good attitude as far as being open-minded and just kind of being like, all right, Rusty's not going to be here. We're now past that news. What do we have to do to have success at this next event?
We threw in a whole bunch of names on who we should have coach, and we've had a lot of different coaches throughout our history, and we're pains in the asses to deal with for a couple of reasons. One, we're really opinionated, but that also makes us who we are, and that's one of the reasons we're really good, is because we all have good ideas. Whose are the best ideas? That's where we clash with. But Rusty has known us for a long time, so he knows how to deal with that and use it, the strengths and the weaknesses, and kind of figure out the best game plan that's in everybody's best interest. So when we were going into Dallas without Rusty, we kind of went through some options on who would be able to handle us and who would be really good to kind of just keep us in line. And Brad has known us since we were little young children. So, he was obviously the best candidate because he understands us, he understands the system, and he wants to be there. And he knows that he was just going to be the coach for the time being.
Now, the Thursday practices are never that productive. You don't know who you're going to play against, and you don't know how productive it's going to be. And you never know if the field is going to be consistent with the actual tournament field. It's hard to say whether a Thursday practice is going to be that helpful, but at least what it does is it gets you shooting your guns. If you have the opportunity to test the tournament paint, you can do that. And for us, it was a good opportunity for Brad to see what types of squads we were working with and to get some basic game plans down so that he could see what guys we're comfortable with, what pairings were good and were working well together. Just kind of get that first game or match under his belt, you know. Obviously no pressure, but at least he wouldn't be stepping into the tournament and not even have seen us play on the field before.
Let's go, motherfuckers. Let's fucking gear today. Starts today. 1 point at a fucking time. Let's go. We connect with each other. We play like a fucking team. Nobody stops us. Let's go.
3 players for Shock now, 4 coming off, and it is going to be quick work here as Alex Frazee runs down the last player left alive, and that might be a penalty as well too. That was a stupid move from Kurt Wozni.
Going into them, we just have to play a controlled game because they are such a X-factor style of play. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. And the way Bruno's coaching them is, you know, he's doing a tremendous job, and you know, I mean, they're hitting you from every angle. So, you know, as long as you are able to watch every zone and not drop any of those zones where they're able to go through, you're usually going to beat them.
We were up 4-2, and I think I felt something hit me, but you know, sometimes you feel something hit you and you're like, oh, it's for sure, it for sure bounced. But I think it broke and got a major penalty, which I didn't want to start because I did pretty well all last year. After that, it was a little momentum boost for Shock, what they needed to get back in the game a little bit.
We were down 5-4, and then we ended up scoring 3 back-to-back points, winning the game 7-5. So as soon as you get that momentum rolling in your favor, a lot of teams, once they get up, they don't know how to deal with that momentum swing. So we've done well in the past, and we're obviously a little more experienced than they are, so that helped out, I think, in our favor.
They're 5, 9, and 7, 5, 7, 9, and then they went game 2 and 3. So guns in their right hands. They went 5 times. They went with their gun in their right hand 3 times, and their gun in their left hand twice. I think that's a bit of a factor. Yeah. But they also did look at the games they started winning were towards the end.
They always scout every team's matches. We have all their tendency maps. We have all their plays mapped out. We're always trying to figure out, okay, he went to this corner 70% of the time, or every game he had his gun in his right hand, he always ran to the snake, or something along those lines. We try to find those little bits and pieces that we can extract and possibly capitalize on.
Try to focus on this. We almost just lost a game, so let's not take this one lightly either, just because this is what we did in the last tournament, okay? We watched fucking a team almost get beat. We watched the Russians almost beat Ironman in World Cup, and we just beat the shit out of the Russians. So we all went in there being like, no problem. We just watched Vicious, so we think we can beat no problem. Beat the shit out of Ironman, all right? This is not a fucking easy game, dude.
I think people were starting to feel like, okay, we got that first one behind us, you know? And I think that might have been what Ryan was seeing. And I think that might have been like his big fear at the time, that guys were gonna start feeling like settling down, relaxed, we got this, everything's back to normal, everything's cool, Rusty's not here, but everything's cool. And now we can just cruise, when that's clearly not the case.
Every single tournament, we play the Ironman. If I don't see them in the prelim draw, I'm like, we're for sure gonna play them in the top 4. That's just the way it works. Dynasty plays the Ironman at PSP.
It looks like here comes Alex Rodriguez, just comes through, blows Ryan Greenspan's head apart, and then bam, triple run through in the center for Alex Rodriguez. And
guys, it's super quiet.
Hey, we gotta watch that center with A-Rod did, obviously.
Horn sound between the divisional field and the pro field is such a small difference on the pitch. It really does affect teams badly. The horn blew a half a second early, and I come around and I'm shooting, so basically the rule is the second you shoot your gun, you're automatically out. Well, I'm already eliminated. So maybe, and then everybody else broke out, but I saw like Marcelo and like someone else just still standing there at ready, and I'm like, you know, may as well take someone with me.
Oh, Ironman get a terrible start. Ironman get a terrible start except for Toe Camel. Toe Camel able to make the snake. Kyle Spica beats him to the 50 though. And then Toe Camel, though, catches a face full real quick. And then Shane Pistani, he comes off early. It's curtains for the Ironman here in this point. That bad start was the death knell for them.
I heard the other buzzer go off and I knew I was fucked. So I just stood there and just shot the shit out of it.
We're feasting, we're grinding up some points, and I was shooting down the tape at the corner, and Toke came out of the snake while I'm shooting at the corner, and I can't really see him because it's a blind shot.
I'm shooting the corner!
Ref just immediately throws a overshooting penalty, and I'm trying to tell him, I'm even like bringing him over, showing him, like, look at from my view, I can't see him, and he doesn't care, you want to hear it, and that's just paintball, and it probably looked bad from his point of view, but I was just trying to shoot the corner and play the game there.
They gave me a major for overshooting.
We're overshooting, that's fucking bullshit.
Bullshit, dude. No, he stood up and I'm shooting the corner.
You know, the Ironman will always be the Ironman. They'll always be a good team. And now with the leadership and the way some of those guys on that team are playing this year, they're good. And they're a scary team to play every event. You know, last year we faced them every event, and then they ended up beating us in World Cup and knocking us out. So I think going into that event, we felt like we owed them a little bit.
Ryan Greenspan's the only body over there on the Dorito side for Dynasty. Tyler Harmon here in the snake corner.
I was on the island, basically. I was by myself. Alex and Tyler had the ball. They're on the coach's side, so my job is to stay alive. You know, I kind of watch over them, see what they're doing, watch their body language, but the main thing is if I die, then we're for sure gonna lose the game because, you know, they can come behind us. So I definitely wasn't expecting CC to be able to run me down because it would seem as if our coach on the sidelines would have been like, hey, Alex or Tyler, dude's running down the Dorito side. Like, tell Ryan.
Bro, why are we losing so many bodies so early? I don't get that.
It's paintball. You're in that fucking point.
Be quiet, man, I'm talking. I can speak, don't tell me to be quiet.
This is what's going on in his head. We aren't staying alive. You know, we had a chance at that. What's going on out there? But what came out of his mouth was, why is everyone dying? Why is my team dying, you know? And whenever someone puts that out there, it doesn't go over well. You're likely to have a blow up, you know, if that happens. You're gonna have some back and forth, and it's gonna be unproductive for a little while. And that's probably exactly what happened.
Have a relationship where we can build this.
Okay, listen. When we're down,
I will never look the other way again. But I don't want these two guys on the snake side.
If they're in the ghetto, I'm in a fucking, if we work together shooting this way, we have a chance of shooting that guy. Because
that's who shot me when I was looking that way.
I know, because he already moved, bro. Okay? Before he moves, we're both looking that way, he fucking puts me in, he goes, and you
so
fucking
once they have the snake, you and I just look that way.
When we're down on body.
You know, you might be upset at each other, you know, yelling or whatnot, but at the end of the day, you're there for the greater good. And Alex and Tyler might be at each other's throats, but they'll figure out what's going on the field and what they need to accomplish and fix it.
5-4 is the score. The Ironmen have fought to gain control of this game. Can Dynasty put a point on the board to tie it up? Here comes Oliver Lang.
Really, I saw it and I felt it in my gut and just kind of kept going, pushing it. And whether I was going to get shot, you know, to bits or do what I completed, I didn't know, but I was going to try it.
Off of that, dynamic move from Oliver Lang. Ryan Greenspan past the 50-yard line, trying to get a shot on Toe Camel, who was forced to tap out. And here comes Dynasty tying it back up at 5.
What that really does is it's a big boost for the team. You know, when any of my guys make a great move and pick apart a couple of the opponents, you know, now it's your turn to fire it up and go do the same thing.
He split the seams, cracked them open, and after that, they kind of just, you know, gave out. We kind of just ran away with it.
Let's try to be positive. Remember what Rusty said, smiling in the pits, okay? It was a good job, you guys, on squashing that little argument, but let's focus and let's put it in the back of our minds and we'll talk about it tonight. Tell Brad what the concerns are and we'll go over it, okay?
I had a big long talk with Rusty while I was on the road to this thing, and we talked a lot about heat, but what I really want to drill down is vicious. That's the most important game right now, is the next game.
Is there...
Brad knows like half the team really well, so he goes back, because he's an original Dynasty player, so he's going to know Yosh, Alex, Ryan, Oliver pretty well. And then he's going to have guys that he's not going to know as well. And then he's also going to have to balance, you know, the mega powers that are on the team, you know, Ryan and Oliver, and I guess I found tricks how to do it, and I gave him a couple pointers on how to balance some of the different personalities and keep everything flowing pretty well.
Yeah, no, and I can get that information so you guys are live, and now we're turning the field on them.
Well, yeah, we're always going to turn the field on if we take the corner.
Okay, well, what he's saying, Ryan,
is trying to shoot their outside
the
also.
Dorito guys as a game plan a decent amount of time, because what's going to happen.
When you're dealing with Dynasty, it's mainly dealing with Ryan and Oliver. And us just beating heads.
I think Oliver's really onto something.
I do. If we shoot this guy, then yeah.
You don't have to shoot him. You just have to keep him out of that tape.
Alex is 80% on Oliver's side at all times. Then there's like 10% where he just kind of like wants to be argumentative. And then there's another 10%, like a flicker of hope that he might actually agree with me. Myself and Oliver, you know, we're yin and yang. You know, Brandon's on my side every time, but he's like, I just don't want to get in the middle of it, dude. I mean, I was gonna say something, but I don't know.
If we pull back for a second, dude, we're talking about drawing up one game plan to put in there.
Yeah, what we gotta do.
Yosh is the voice of reason. You know, he never really chimes in until there's a real big problem, but then he'll come in there and then everybody's like, oh, well, okay, all right. Then there's like Kyle, who's like a scared little puppy, and he's like watching the ball go back and forth, like, yeah, no, you know, so he doesn't say anything. And then Glenn is usually, is Glenn even there for the meetings? Because I think he's on the red eye in, about to be, you know, landing in a couple hours. And then Blake's there, just usually drinking some milk, hanging out. But he falls asleep. I think he's got acute narcolepsy, so we always have to look over, because sometimes he fell asleep one time opening a soda, and his finger was on the can. Tyler's there, and he's watching, but he's like a termite hunter, you know, at home. So I feel like he's like, there's termites in here.
Let's shoot for that Dorito corner.
Let's just not rule it out. I'm not ruling it out, man.
I don't want this guy to shoot us. I don't want this guy to keep shooting.
What's interesting about this team is that everybody's got a high paintball IQ. Kind of the point of these meetings are to go and almost get into a little bit of a verbal yelling match and find holes in each other's game plans. And by doing that, you're able to come up with the best game plan. But sometimes it drags on because we just like to yell at each other quite a bit, to tell you the truth.
If we can get our guys out of the danger spots before they get to the ghetto, yes.
Well, this is what he's saying. This is what the truth is this is what happened today when we didn't even game plan it, is we would shoot the Dorito guys somehow. Brad's played on this team for quite some time. He's been a core member of the team. He's been there for a lot of moral support, and he's like a big boost to the guys. But, you know, he doesn't have that same paintball IQ that Rusty has. And yeah, Rusty's very good at diffusing it and saying, okay, hey, we're moving on. Guys, you know, you guys are acting like children. But, you know, it was hard for Brad to step in there and be like, hey, guys, shut up.
I think we should draw it up. Let me try drawing this up, and then let's talk about it.
Okay. I have confidence in you guys shooting this. So, having a meeting on Dynasty is kind of like going to the dentist. It's tough and it takes forever. Everybody feels that they're right. It's just, it takes a special personality to basically corral all these wild animals. That is Ryan Greenspan, Yosh, and Oliver. And so basically we argued forever, and if Rusty was there, we probably would have got to the same conclusion in half the amount of time. But we took the long route.
Today we connect. Today we come out hot. Yeah, let's go. There's no time to come out soft now. It's up to us. Let's go. DYNAST.
They haven't really contested us yet in the last few years. We have their number. You know, they put a few points on the board against us, but nothing that we were kind of fretting about.
This is a team that can definitely beat you once, you know, if you run on them. And this field wasn't too big of a field to run on too much, so we were able to stay alive off the break, and they weren't able to key us up. And at that point, you know, you get up a couple points on a team like Vicious, you know, it's a head game at that point, and we can run up 4 or 5 points on them.
This is a whole new game. I know we're confident and we're fucking gonna play tomorrow, but fuck that. Come out with some fucking heat.
No. Let's play Sunday paintball
right now. It starts right now. Let's go.
Going into that match against Heat, kind of feeling a little bit of feel from when they beat us last year, and always now having this new rivalry with them that, you know, if we just connect and we play 5-on-5 paintball against them, they're not going to beat us.
They knew they had nothing to lose, and they were going at us. We knew it was kind of a different team, but it doesn't really matter. You know, it's just like we have one more job to do, beat these guys, score the points. It's not over till it's 7 points.
Heat's got some outstanding talent, and they're gonna be a really good team. They had 2 years of a great run, and now they've kind of had to rebuild. They've just got to take some minutes to kind of get into their own, and they're gonna be good. But it's also gonna be tough to play a team like us who continuously rolls on with the same squad every year, and that's gonna be more unified team style of play. And you know, a couple superstars can pick us apart a couple points here and there, but at the end of the day, as a whole, with our team unity, it's gonna be hard to beat us.
That was the connection we were looking for.
Connect, baby.
Just tell me what it's
Hey,
Yeah,
just get in. I know we're all happy and stuff right now, but the tournament hasn't even started yet, dude. All right?
It starts tomorrow.
So wipe those damn smiles off your faces. There's no time for laughing or smiling. Paintball's not about fun.
No. Turn it up, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a lot of work today. We've got some games to watch.
Dude, I feel good,
dude.
I feel good. Let's fucking keep it. Let's go, baby. Hey, that was a team win right there, right?
You guys hungry, dude? Let's fucking
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. So this is Mexico. You know, because Rusty wasn't there, we kind of like stray away from what Rusty does. So I was going over the black and yellow calls, which is the top secret stuff, so I'm not going to tell you what it means. But I was just making sure that everybody was on the same page and everybody could see and focus on it.
Pass this on to whoever wants to look at it. This is. Or just ask these guys what they like to do.
If you're putting a lot of paint there, though, that guy's
He won't call around.
which they're doing a lot, he won't like to call around.
Yeah, so that could be good. That could be good against these guys.
So you and Alex are both in agreement here on this in your area about how this goes down and how you're going to deal with it.
Brad had to come in and pick up where Rusty left off, which is not easy for anything. So each day, Brad was learning a little bit more and more and more, and I felt like he did an amazing job for what the circumstances were.
All right, well, let's fine-tune these plays for what we found out and what we think is going to work against Infamous, and just get these on paper.
Hey, I'd also like our guys that are...
Brad did a great job of not being too much and not putting too much of this is how I want it, and he did a great job of finding a balance on letting us do the hard work and figure it out, and then just cultivating it together so that we were all on the same page, and really just taking out the game plans that we had put together as a team, you know?
Play the audible. You choose. You choose your own adventure. Over here.
Lost it. It's going well.
Hey, I think we really revved the fuck up today, okay? And it starts feeling good on the team when everybody's connecting and everybody's juicing and everybody's playing good. I mean, there hasn't been a match yet where an individual hasn't won a game or saved a game or done an exceptional job as a teammate. So that's excellent, okay? We've made little mistakes, we've critiqued them, we've fixed them. We've got our game plans down. We've got a fucking hell of a great coach. I really want to win this tournament, okay? It's 1 point at a time and it's together.
Playing paintball all these years, you hate to see the stars align. So it's like last year, we beat Infamous in the closest game in the same round, and it's like the paintball gods are gonna give them their due now. Infamous wants their revenge.
Let's go, man. We create this. Come on, own it. Take it, man.
Games are a bloodbath. As long as we have one guy out there, we've got a chance, all right?
Let's go.
So is it going to be Infamous or Dynasty? Meeting Omaha Vicious in the finals this afternoon, we'll find out.
Whatever you did the previous days, the team before that has to think that that's ultimately what you're gonna do. So we wanna kind of throw a wrench in the system. I remembered a shot where I came around the Aztec up to the pin, shooting across field, and it worked. He shot the guy, and then I just took off right into the snake.
Kyle Spica getting right into the 50-yard line snake. 2 kills coming off right away for Los Angeles Infamous.
I mean, once you shot the outside guys, they're kind of vulnerable, you know, because they start feeling trapped and surrounded. So it was easy to close that point out. I wanted to draw first blood.
Nice run through from Yosh Rao. Perfect work for San Diego Dynasty. They did not lose a body here in this first point.
I wanted to shoot Bobby because when we were looking at all the maps, he was going heavy, shooting snake side. So my game plan was to run up the center, shooting out towards the Dorito side, and as soon as I got to the center, pivot across and try to get those kills, go into that 50 kick and try to get the kills on the snake side. But as luck would have it, they did a very similar play, and with that, it changed Bobby's gun to look inside, and so I shot their runner running up the center, then Bobby picked up that zone by looking inside from the snake side, so he's the one who ultimately shot me, but I thought it was going to be a cool play.
I could see Alex going to get him because nobody's really looking. Oh, how about that?
So Zach Wake gets bunkered out by Alex Frazier. You could call Chris, and then Bobby Aviles, though, on that trade out.
Oh,
right to the
what
50.
a shot. Across the field by Bobby Aviles taking out that far side Dorito. Oh, and there goes Bobby Aviles getting shot by Glenn Takamoto.
It's now a 2-on-1.
Yeah, Nicky Cuba, Bornstein against Glenn Takamoto, who is not somebody to take lightly.
Well, Glenn is notorious for being one of the last guys alive and pulling off some incredible moves where you just don't know how he does it. And most of the time he gets away with it. So at this point, you know, he goes to bunker Corey.
Look at this move right here. Glenn Takamoto taking him down.
Glenn Takamoto, and I think Corey might have spun on him.
Yeah, I think Nicky might have actually got him.
Maybe Nicky.
Up to the referee's discretion, whatever happened, happened. But, you know, he of course thought that he got him clean, and, you know, Nicky was definitely there to show him that he was still alive. Typical Nicky.
Hey, he's funny and short. We got it. We got it. Let's go. Hey, oh, come on.
I got bounced right in the goodie bag, and looked down, checked it. That was cool. Then, you know, I luckily saw like through the crack over on the snake side, one of those guys jumping the snake. Maybe it hooked in right through the crack or something like that.
Zach Patient getting shot somehow.
Yeah, he got shot through that crack.
On his loader.
Yeah, we came up a little bit. Oh, but Yosh takes one too.
It's tied at 1. Kyle's in the 50 snake. Ryan's by himself on the Dorito side. Drew makes a big move down the Doritos. He bunkers Ryan. Ryan's off the field. Drew's off the field. I make a mad dash from the snake corner.
I take off to try to shoot Damien because I think he's shooting at short, and Damien pulls a shot off on me. And luckily, at that same time, Short gets a shot on him because he's pinched out by both of us. And Short was the last guy alive to hanging point, which was a super intense point.
Here we go on the breakout, Infamous and Dynasty. Infamous sends Nicky Cuba all the way up to the center 50.
When a big guy like Nicky gets in that X, I mean, he knows how to play with authority. And I mean, when my bunker is falling down and I'm just doing all I can to stay alive, I'm pushing into that thing, hoping that it loses a little bit of air so I get a little bit more comfort in there. But, you know, sometimes it's too late.
Let's go, guys! DYNNSD! Let's go! Get some fucking unity here!
I'm playing a little aggressive, I think a little backed off the 50 snake right by the beam, and I take a really lucky bounce off my beam. I mean, it hit me pretty hard, and I think it was Damien in the Snake Aztec trying to pick some shots off on me. I'm just waiting on the Dorito side to make a push, and I had a big window to shoot Cali, and I knew that if he tried to take it, the odds of me shooting him were pretty likely. But this point was going so long, I was getting a little tired, so I used the beam just to kind of hold my gun there. Damien, he had been fishing for shots this whole point. Finally, he was able to squeeze a shot off on my barrel.
But, you know,
he's begging for a barrel shot.
And I hear him yelling. I'm looking down, kind of looking for it, and immediately the ref comes up. He's like, come on, you know what happened, you get off the field.
The Infamous guys managed to shoot out Yosh, shoot out Kyle, which left it to a 1-on-3. And I kind of made a desperation move down the field, heading towards Brad at the 50 snake. I managed to sneak a shot off on Brad, and Brad continued to run at me, which he got a major penalty for. Damien knows he's about to be pulled out. He does everything he can to sneak a shot on me. And sure enough, he gets one shot on my loader, which I tuck down. I tell the ref to come clean me off because Damien should be out at this point. So now here I am, I basically shot Brad, caused a major penalty. I have a loader hit, which shouldn't be there, and I have to play Callie one-on-one. See, looking back on it now, I should have just wiped that loader hit off and played that one-on-one, but instead I left it there, hoping that the refs would know exactly what happened and occurred. So now here I am, one-on-one with a loader hit. I shoot Callie in the face, no problem, no big deal, and I go and hang the flag. Of course, there's the loader hit, and I'm hoping that that ref would, basically tell what happened, and that ref was nowhere to be found.
Somebody get ready if Short can't play.
Hold on, they're discussing the fucking dirty hand.
Damian shot Short. Hey, good job, Short.
Hey, we got a penalty now.
You bunkered the guy out, they got
the penalty. Yo, Glenn, Alex, Ryan.
I went from 0 to 0 in 2.3 seconds. I got a major penalty. Luckily, there was a no point, but we had to start the next game 4-on-4.
How that went down, and it's not really anybody's fault in particular. However, it's a gift that Infamous got.
Let's go, Dynasty, fight! Let's go, over! Let's go, Notes! Ryan, come on!
It was a street fight. It was tough, it was gritty, it was about who wanted it more.
Out of the box, here comes Dynasty out of the box.
That's Brandon Short. He's able to get out wide and he makes it out alive. 4 strong for Dynasty, 3 for Los Angeles Infamous. Dynasty looks like they might be in position to tie this up, but they don't have a lot of time.
What was good was the game had slowed down at that point, and I came out of the penalty box with like 9 pods. I was able to machine gun out of that corner. Ryan, with like a minute on the clock, dives into the snake.
Ryan Greenspan making his way to the 50-yard line, slowly but surely. Only a minute and 30 seconds left.
Oh, there goes Oliver Lang taking the walk, Matty.
So Oliver gets shot.
Oh, but so does Nicky Cuba.
Yeah, but it's Glenn Takamoto alive on the D side. He's the only player alive on the D side. Just 2 players left alive for Infamous. Can they hold off the attack?
We needed to score a point, so I was kind of baiting. Brandon and I kind of set it up. I got into their snake, and right as I got in there, Damian saw me. So he came over to bunker me. Brandon shot him while he was coming to get me. I don't think a lot of people realize that. They're like, oh man, you got smoked in the snake. I was like, the whole purpose of that was so I get up as close as I can. If I don't shoot him, then he comes to bunker me, but Brandon's watching over me. Shot, so he fell right into our trap.
It becomes a 2-on-1 with me and Glenn Takamoto versus Zach Wake in the snake corner. We finish him off, and we managed to hang the flag with about 15 seconds left.
I want to burn the 15 seconds and we're going to go to over.
I want to run and shoot out to that side and try to catch their guys in the blind.
Then Spick is in.
Alex is in.
Or, hey. Alex, you good?
I remember distinctly Brad not really knowing like what to say or what to do at that point. I can imagine what's going on in his mind. He's thinking, should I tell him to win the point or should I tell him to just hold off? And we had been in that situation with Infamous before where, you can win some quick points and shit happens fast.
Pretty standard. I always play to win. And I think some of the guys on the team were like, yeah, just get to your spots and we'll just go to the overtime. And I told them, I said, Alex, I'm playing to win this point. I'm playing to win this point. And then I can't remember who it was. I think it was either Yosh or Ryan maybe. It was like, they're like, fuck yeah, win this point. And I was like, okay. And right at that point, it was like, 5 seconds to go into it.
For us on the field, it was like, don't fuck it up. But if there's an opportunity, go for it. We produced 2 quick kills off the break, and the only guy that I could see die was the guy that ran out to the Dorito corner. He basically got halfway, and I was like, sweet. That was the only guy that ran outside. So I started kind of carving up through that set of stand-ups on the Dorito side of the field.
I just don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I think they're just gonna get out there. Nicky gets Cuba's shot. Losing 2 in the break. 8 seconds left. This is possible.
At that point, I was just like, all right, time to get this flag. And I did have a kind of a split-second hesitation where I thought one of the guys was alive. Kind of stutter-stepped for about probably 0.5 of a second.
By the time I get to the 50, I can actually already see Oliver is past the 50 and produced maybe 2 kills off the break. It all unfolded really quickly. By the time I got to their stand-up temple, I looked back at the clock and there was a really small amount of time left on the clock.
I look up and I just see 2 seconds and I was about, I don't know, maybe 10 feet away. Kind of my thought is forward motion, you know, the ball gets thrown at the buzzer and it's going. If I jump for this, I'm in the air, I've left the ground, and if I hit it, I should get it. And, you know, just with all my might, I was going for it.
He might have enough time. Oh my God, Oliver Lang, taking the flag. I think they got it.
We did the same thing to them last year. It was funny because I looked into their pit and they were like, no, no, no. And I was like, yep, it happened again. And I look up and the guy gives the thumbs up.
We fucking did it! Get ready to go!
They gave the thumbs up sign. And I'm not sure what their protocol is on who's supposed to signal and why they're signaling. Like, is the thumbs up sign that he touched it? Is the thumbs up sign that he got it in time? Is the thumbs up sign that they're excited? I don't fucking know. But I distinctly remember a number of those guys giving the thumbs up sign.
Well, we didn't get it. Let's go. Hey, stay composed. Come on.
I don't know. I guess they reviewed the clock. They looked at the details and they didn't give it to us. I just feel like that's the paintball gods, you know, working it out.
It was fucking muddy. I was excited and I fell down on my ass. But it didn't matter because I thought we had won and we were all kind of jumping around, doing our little shimmy shake in the mud. And then I had to brush the mud off and go back to the pit and load up. It didn't count.
Okay, let's go. Overtime shit, boys. Let's go, guys.
Lots of highs and lows in that game, you know. Then we go on for the overtime point, and I think we just had a lousy breakout, and it's like, what can you do, you know?
Oh, look at this though, Chris. Brandon Short takes one right in the face.
Oh no, that's gonna be a problem right now.
Drew Templeton managed to basically find the sneakiest shot, gogs me in the face, which leaves our whole snake side completely open. Drew Templeton comes down, shoots Oliver, bunkers Ryan. He was the hero for the day.
What's up? He put him in the fucking ground, man.
Dude, that's
a joke. It's a joke, dude. Hey, I don't give a fuck because I'm not a pussy. But if you guys are gonna call that shit on us, call that shit on them.
I don't give a shit. I mean, I play paintball. I'm not ballet dancing or whatever. I don't know what's a good analogy for that. But the crappy thing is we got 2 overshooting penalties that were undeserved. So there's got to be a happy medium. That's what we were kind of arguing. Well, I don't know. I don't know what everybody else is arguing.
I don't care about losing, dude. Fuck that. It doesn't fucking hurt. It doesn't hurt.
I've done this for so long, and when people bitch and moan at the end of a point and for something, it's like, you know, we're just being crybabies, to tell the truth.
Shot him into the ground, dude.
What's going on with that?
It really comes down to the fact that you don't want to see anybody do that to your teammate. It's disrespectful. But at the same time, I know that some guys on our team, they've completely come around on the last guy. It's an exciting moment, and they fucking ass raped the guy. That wasn't our feeling at the time. At the time, it's like, how the fuck could they do that to Ryan? I want to rip Drew's head off, you know? But it was also, it just reinforced the disappointment that we had that we were out, you know? And we all felt a little bit guilty for not winning the match, and we all felt a little bit guilty for not being out there on the field and playing out that last point with Ryan. We felt like we got the middle finger to a disappointing end. That's it.
Having Rusty back was huge. You know, it just kind of felt like the team was complete again. He's definitely one of the guys. He's one of the players.
Listen, enough's a fucking enough, all right? We know how to play, let's play. C-Y-M-A-S-T! 1, 2, 3, 3.
I didn't know what to expect against our Chaos. They've been very successful in Europe. Of course, they won the Challengers bracket. They've got top-notch players. Great organization. It was going to be a bloodbath. Every time we play those Russian guys, it's always a bloodbath.
Here comes Short launching through the middle of the field. Nobody picks him up.
Oh,
he gets
beautiful.
Mishka in the back and gets all 3 as nobody. I don't think anybody ever knew that he was there.
5 players alive for Art Chaos as Art Chaos shoots a body off the break now. And Dynasty, 2 bodies drop for them. They're stuck in the pocket. Oliver Lang making his move up on the D side of the field. And it looks like Verdikov, he gets shot.
They were up 5, we had 3 of us, and you know, we practiced this. There's probably nobody else on the team I'd rather be in this situation with besides Yosh. As well as Brandon, thinking going into this is, we're gonna win this point, and we're gonna let them make the mistakes. With my ego, I knew that I was gonna shoot the guy that was coming to the snake, and I could see the lane, I could see where he was gonna go, and I was just gonna drop it right in on him, and sure as hell, he did it. I should have shot Fedorov also.
I actually made a kind of a dumb move. I thought I could run the highway, which is the inside of the snake, and bunker out the snake guys. And really it was an undisciplined, kind of a selfish move. And I think from that point on, I learned my lesson.
I got a good shot on Sergey, and then at that point, I believe Mishka was in my mirror, and I'd moved, and I got a good snap on him, and it was surprising because Mishka's a pretty good snapshot. I'm not that good.
And Oliver Lang gets a shot in on Mishka as Fedorov makes a move. Here comes Yosh Rao to try and counter, but Oliver Lang is running down the 50. He's behind Fedorov.
And Todd, Fedorov, no paint left. That's why he made that move. And here comes, let's see who's going to get this one, and it looks like Yosh is going to try to run down Fedorov. He does, but it looks like Oliver Lang is still left alive on the D side. So what an amazing performance.
Every time you take a point away from a team when they think that they deserved it, but they don't get it, it's actually a bigger hit than if you just blow them out and shoot a bunch of guys off the break. Because then they think, all right, that was a fluke, hit the reset button. When you win one of those drawn out points and they clearly have guys that fucked up, it does wonders on their minds, you know?
Just two bodies left alive now. We got Fedorov and Lukashuk, both players over here on the snake side, as Oliver Lang is telling his team to just slow down, don't go anywhere, let the clock run.
Smart thing to do is let's grind this out and let's have a 3-point lead with 1 minute on the clock. We can have a 3-point lead and win this point right now with 3 minutes on the clock. And that gives them time to fight back. But Ryan wanted to collect a couple stats, which is fine. Everybody wants their stats nowadays.
Look at Oliver yelling at Ryan to slow down, and Ryan's like, nope, sorry, I need some kills. And Ryan just runs. Ryan refuses to listen to Oliver and just runs down the field, shoots all the last two players left alive. And then is like, no, give me the flag.
If I see an opening to win a game, and we're way up on bodies and we're up on points, then I'm going to take that opportunity. Especially in the prelims, it's going to come down to point minder. This has happened to us a bunch.
Fedorov just had an insane jump shot, but then he gets a major penalty. Fedorov not liking that call at all.
Towards the offseason World Cup, Art Chaos asked me to coach their team, and I decided to stay with Dynasty and didn't really take the position. And they gained a lot of super hype. They got all the players that they wanted to get, and they built a super team. The game plan they had just wasn't effective on the field, so we were able to put up high points on them. And I think once people saw how bad we beat them, it sort of popped that bubble of how hyped that team was. Then it kind of opened the floodgates for them.
Let's go. We kept saying bomb, 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 and that just, on that particular field, it asked to just shoot tons of paint. Our motto was bomb, bomb, bomb. Don't stop shooting. Carry 5, 6 extra pods, just bomb them.
Markowski makes the jump and looks
it puts it right on Glenn Takamoto, back center.
Nice shot by Carl Markowski, who is just putting a clinic over here on the snake side of the field. Slow, methodical, and
there goes Tyler Harmon trying to make
look at this. Tyler Harmon got a red flag.
Yeah, he definitely deserved that one because Velez picked him up about the Dorito one.
Tyler, we were up on points, man.
We're up on points.
I shouldn't have made that run. It's fine.
Should have just stayed put.
You can get down on yourselves, think, oh my God, we got a penalty and we're gonna lose. Or you can think of it as an advantage, because if you have 4 guys and you beat their 5, that's a huge momentum swing. And that's exactly what we did against Aftershock. We came out, we won that point, 4 on 5, and after that, it was basically a landfall, an avalanche. We had the confidence, they didn't have it anymore, and we just took the game over. Every game against the Ironmen is super tough, but I felt like that game, they had a lot of good calls go their way. It was just one of those gritty matches, and I remember I managed to sneak out to the corner on one of the games, and it was a 3-on-2 with us having the 3 bodies, and I remember looking up at the clock, and there's 12 minutes left, and I don't know why, but I yelled out, just hold him, 12 minutes left, thinking that we could hold him out for 12 minutes.
Biggest things I stressed about the Ironman game was not allowing certain individuals to to do certain things, like allowing Marcelo to get in the slow, long points. If he can get in a situation that's slow, he can shoot a guy and then shoot another guy, and that's kind of where he wants to be.
Here comes Marcelo on the move, and he makes the move, plays it smart, and shoots Alex Fragi right away. There goes Brandon Short taking off. Here comes Yosh Rao coming into the open. He's going to get shot. Mike Paxson gets shot. It's a one-on-one right now, but Yosh Rao's going to get a minor penalty, and that's going to get Brandon Short pulled. So Brandon Short's going to be off the field. Marcelo Margot's going to get the point here. What a play by Marcelo Margot.
Hey, Dynasty, you owe me 2 points.
It was a good lesson for Short and I, because it was like, it showed that when you had an advantage, you needed to press it. You don't win tournaments by sitting in one spot. You win tournaments by doing that until it's time to move forward, and then you move forward and win the point.
Marcelo Margot is going to go run that flag in and tie this game up with 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Tied 4-4. Typical close game with the Ironmen. We had shot a couple of their outside guys, and there was a move up the center, and Alex took it. Took down the first body clean, the second body maybe on the line, you know, whatever. Those type of moves happen all the time, especially when you're going up the center. He was punished with a penalty, you know, but it ended up opening that matchup, and it was, I mean, penalties happen. That one was totally worth it. Gave us the point, basically broke it down so that nothing else bad could happen, where they would be able to reverse it on us. We ended up taking a lead, and there wasn't very much time left on the clock. So in the last point, on a field where it was fairly easy to lock down. So ultimately, Alex's move, even though he got a penalty, was a great move because it put us up and it gave us an advantage for the next point as well.
I hate games like that, but I like it when we do rise above. Because honestly, yesterday we didn't make many mistakes. Today we made some mistakes, but we need to learn from them going on to the next game, going on to tomorrow.
We knew stuff was going to happen. Yeah. Grit. It always does. We gritted that. It always does. There's no way around it, but we played through it, and that's what's key, right? Let's go. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3, 10.
They just won the last tournament. You know, I missed the event, and then all that happens, and they knocked us out. So why wouldn't we want to come in and just destroy them? And then knowing that if we beat them well, then they would go down to relegation. So that was like icing on the cake. And we were already in. We were already up three wins. So there's no pressure on us. It was all just proving a point.
We got up points on Infamous, and they didn't really have an answer. You know, they were able to win some points on aggression, but we knew that we could slow the game down.
We were still a little bitter about the last tournament, so it would be quite the pleasure to break their back. And we beat them pretty convincingly and sent them down to that scary match that nobody wants to play.
Now you can disagree with me, but if you could try it.
I'm not even doing that. I'll tell you something.
Maybe
those bounce shots, they don't like bounce off a pin and then bounce straight back the other way. The shot comes from straight ahead. Yeah. It comes from straight ahead and it glances off and then ricochets. It doesn't come like, it doesn't work like pinball, you know?
It does, it's paintball. Have you ever played paintball?
Oh, that's what it was, pinball.
It was also right here.
Oliver, I love you, but you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I mean, this might be, it could be this too. Could be
but I'll shoot it anyway.
And this one,
They like to always go against me. So going into that meeting, watching games, seeing, when I'm watching games, I'm seeing guys get shot, and I can usually tell, for who they got shot by. And when nobody's shooting at them and they walk off, that technically usually means that there's some bounce shots. So of course, Oliver's always wrong. They'd all fight against me. By the end of the tournament, we'll see who's right or wrong.
Raise your hand if you ran out of paint in any games.
One game.
Okay, everyone up one pod. Because
Yes.
you will dominate.
Look,
When a guy's going like this, and you're going bearing down on him, it's not cool for him.
I slow down when I have like 5 balls left in my hopper.
You grab the last body, you dumped it.
Because he shot at me.
My last pod, no.
That's so funny.
He goes, 10 minutes, we gotta win it.
I'm out of paint.
The best part about this team is laughing again, okay? I love seeing your smiles. I love it. I love it. Let's see some good smiles tomorrow.
Alright, you can give Ryan $5.
Friday and Saturday are gone. All the pussies have gone home. All that's left is
Big
assholes.
dicks, boys.
Really want to beat the shit out of Damage. 1 point at a time.
Well, let's walk.
I want to put it on these guys. Like, I really want to.
Well, stop wanting it.
All
Let's
right,
need it.
Let's
make
do it.
happen.
Hey, I love you guys.
Love you too.
I felt like it wasn't Dynasty versus Damage. It was Dynasty versus Dalton. And there was no way we were going to lose that match. We were just mentally convinced that we were going to win regardless, because you can't let Dalton win.
I don't know if they wanted to take Dalton because he's a good player, or if they wanted to take Dalton just to try to rip apart our team. Either way, I feel like that's a personal attack against me. And until we get Dalton back, there's going to be a vendetta against Damage.
Dynasty has played the best so far in the prelims, but can they keep it going here against Tampa Bay Damage? Dalton Vanderbilt, who actually came off of San Diego Dynasty to take the offer with Tampa Bay Damage, he is up in the center.
Going into them, they were going to play exactly the way we were. Dalton was going to go to that center, and I was going to go and just rip his head off whenever I got the possibility to. You know, we were going to bonus ball him, and we were going to just take him out of the game. He was playing really well for them, that event. And you need that kind of up the middle offense on that field. And if you were able to take that guy out of the game, that was a massive bonus for you.
What I realized scouting Damage was they had realized there was the value to the middle. But what I realized is on the away side, they would push a guy right up the middle. On the home side, they wouldn't push the guy up the middle. The guy would hold up or do something different, or he would go to the Doritos. So we were able to kind of know when they were going to use Dalton up the middle. And then he came up the middle, got in, he pops up, Brandon shoots him a bunch of times, and that kind of set the pace on like how that middle was going to be for them right off the bat. But that was the big focus. It was not what they were trying to do everywhere else, but what they were trying to do in the middle and when they were doing it. So they kind of had a pattern that I could read.
Let's go, Dynasty! Let's go! 1 point!
Obviously, Dalton's a guy that is going to have an impact out there no matter who he's playing against. But for us, he was a guy that we wanted to concentrate on, you know, just because that's the way shit works, you know. You leave the team, we're going to look for you, you know. But he's an impact player, and we knew that if we could shut him down or at least predict what he was going to do, we would be taking away one of their big weapons.
All day, man. Let's eat. Let's get Dalton back, baby.
Going into that game, knowing how miserable Dalton is over there, I was just saying, Dalton, come on home, baby. Come on home. Because this is where the fun is for him, you know. This is where his heart is. Damage is not Dalton. Dalton is Dynasty all the way. And Dalton will come back to Dynasty, and I won't rest until he does.
Glenn had told me a little bit earlier in the tournament that he had a work obligation, and if we made it to Sunday, he'd probably be able to play in the first match, but then he'd probably have to go home.
Okay, Glenn, why'd you drive your own car? And Glenn's like, oh yeah, I gotta leave after lunch. We're like, where are you going? And he's like, oh, I gotta go to the airport. We're like, you're not gonna play the finals?
Short and Spica got in the van with Oliver and I, and they're like, did you know that Glenn's leaving? And I was like, yeah, he quit. I don't know why. He just said, I quit, I'm going home. And they were both like, oh my God. Are you serious? What's going on? Why would he leave right now? We had just eaten chai pot. I thought everything was good. Glenn and I were playing the same spot, and it wasn't gonna have a huge impact on the game, but it was kind of fun to fuck with the guys, because it's definitely kind of a weird situation.
Impact's been knocking on the door for first place for the past almost 2 years, and you know, I was a little worried that was going to be their time, but I just think we knew that field so well, we practiced it so well, and it really suited all of our abilities.
Everybody take one breath. One breath, man. Hey, I'm not here because this is my fucking job. I love this. If you guys are gone, I'm gone. So let's live in this moment right now.
Hey, listen.
Let's be right now.
Hey, man. Rusty can hit the nail on the head, man. It's about love, okay? Build this force field right now.
Let's go, man.
Building this impenetrable force field right now.
Work together.
Let's fucking play. Let's connect. Let's play like a team. Let's be a team. Let's win 1 point at a time.
Right now, 1 point, our team. 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 1, 2, 3, team. DYNAST.
They've got fire, they've got fuel. You know, they just won some European events. They're living the big time. They're all getting paid tons of money. They're living the paintball dream, to tell you the truth. And we want nothing more than to beat them.
Doubled up. Blake Yarber's trying to get out on that Dorito side, but Justin Rabikoff keeping a stream of paint out there. Blake Yarber makes the bump. Does he make it out alive? Yes, he does.
We call Blake the Panther because he moves around like a panther out there on the Dorito side. And sometimes he dives a little bit harder than he should. And it looks like he breaks every single bone in his body. Well, he's gonna do whatever he can to get to the spot he needs to be. And if that means putting his body on the line, then so be it. But you know what? Doesn't matter if he has a broken back because he's got a big heart.
To tell you the truth, they were playing very similar to how we were playing. It was very nice of Justin to shoot Zach. That was a nice freebie.
Huge gun coming off, and another big one too with Zach Yakmek and his injured shoulder. He takes the walk. So just a couple guys left alive for Edmonton Impact. 4 bodies for Dynasty. They have the advantage.
They shot right back at me.
What?
Listen, no, somebody called it was a wrong call. Listen! Listen to me! They're putting 2 guys in the spider, both playing the snake way, okay? And they're fucking bouncing paint off the fucking California, trying to make it go crazy.
Rusty, am I in?
It doesn't work like pinball, you know?
It does, it's paintball. Have you ever played paintball?
Oh, that's what it was, pinball.
It's funny, Oliver was like, you gotta do these bounce shots and you gotta do crazy. We're like, Oliver, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, we're just shooting. We're like, dude, you're just shooting your gun to shoot your gun. There are no bounce shots. But lo and behold, in the impact game, we're getting shot off these bounce shots like crazy. So then we're like, oh yeah, he was right.
Here comes Rainey Stanzak up into the A Fortress. He is trying to wrap around and get a shot in on Brandon Short.
Rainey Stanzak manages to make a move up the middle, and he puts me in for a split second, but I know how the way the field is, that if I just tuck in and shoot a lane and just keep bombing that lane, that Rainey's gonna come through it.
Rainey Stanzak tries to make his move. Brandon Short is able to pick him off. We've seen that a few times. Players trying to make that move on Brandon Short. He's able to tuck in and cut the lane down. Yosh Rao gets shot.
I shoot Rainey out, which is huge, but at the same time, we lose our whole Dorito side, which forces me to run from the snake can. Me and Kyle are now playing like a 2-on-4. I shoot J-Rab out of the middle, but Spica leaves the field, and in that confusion, I got ran down, but kind of lit a fire underneath me.
Let's do it, boys. DYNAST! What? DYNAST! What? Let's go! Come on, grit, man!
Oh, and Oliver Lang gets shot out of his spot. So early death from Oliver Lang. He's going to have to walk off. But Dave Baines, he gets taken out. So Dave Baines takes the early walk. Rainey Stanzik makes his move up to the center 50 Fortress, and he is going to shut down that D side of the field. When you get up in that center, you're able to look wide, and if no one has made it out on that side, even if they have, you can do a good job of controlling them up there.
Looks like Blake Yarber bails out to that Dorito side corner to try and get a better angle.
He had one of those standard Blake points where we're in the pits like, no, don't shoot at the guy, don't shoot at the guy.
Blake Yarber gets a shot in on Rainey Stanzak as he comes up the field. Rainey Stanzak walking off.
And they were like, oh, killed him, sweet. We're like, yes.
We came to the conclusion that Blake plays paintball how he drives. You know, when you're in a car and someone's driving and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. But, you know, he gets you there in one piece safely. And that's kind of how Blake is on the sidelines. You're watching him like, oh, don't do that. Oh. And then he does it and he's successful. And you're like, oh, no, 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 no. He did it? He did it? Oh, good, good, yeah, good job, Blake. You know, sometimes he turns it on and it's very impressive to watch him. Blake's really coming into his own as a player. He's really maturing.
You're going there. Let's go, man.
On the breakout, 4 guns up and 1 out wide for Edmonton Impact. Dynasty on the flip side, they send Oliver out to the D side, but it looks like they lose Blake Yarber trying to get out wide.
Only way I was getting shot was off of this can, and it was bouncing into me, you know? And I could feel him hitting me, but at a certain point, I'm gonna be shooting and I'm gonna be looking down every time a bounce shot hits me and looking down to see if it broke. And at a certain point in the game, I'm gonna stop looking down, you know? And that just so happened to be the time that the ball broke on my leg, and the ref looked at me and was like, "What are you doing, stupid? You've got a big hit on your leg and you're still shooting your gun and yelling."
Rainey Stanzak gonna get pulled. So Dynasty once again evening it up.
Ooh, penalty.
Penalty being thrown on Yosh Rao. Yeah, that was a leg hit. That's definitely a major.
2 players left alive for Dynasty, but there's only 3 left alive for Edmonton Impact as Brandon Short and Kyle Spica got shots on Rainey Stanzik and Justin Rabikoff.
I had plenty of paint and I wasn't going anywhere, and you know, the time was ticking down. I was just sitting there shooting my gun and just not allowing these guys to come at me.
All I wanted to do at that point was kill the clock. Shot my lanes, and I hear Oliver screaming for me, but there's a bunker in between us, and I can't even see him. And I'm just shooting my lanes, and Dave Baines makes a miracle shot and puts the tiniest little paint break on my wrist here, and I have to leave the field.
I got to get out to that corner because these corners were good enough that you could protect the whole field. I knew what position they were in. There's 2 guys on my side, on the right, and then 1 in the snake, and I was kind of just shooting for the snake guy. And if the snake guy just kind of took his time and just kind of crawled, I would have never been able to see him. I could have maybe have lobbed a shot in on him, but he just kind of got up and ran. And I mean, I was just shooting, luckily got that shot. At the same time, right after that, I wrapped and I see Dave coming into the X, and I just luckily clipped him. And then at that same time, I just traded with one of the brothers. And here comes Speedy Gonzalez out of the penalty box, shooting everywhere.
Here comes Kyle Spica, but it looks like Oliver got a shot, and I think Dave Baines got shot too.
Ooh, Oliver
oh my
shot
God!
Everybody.
I see like 2 or 3 people kind of walking out, but I don't feel like I shot them, so I'm like, I don't really know what's going on at this point.
Spica's my baby, and I can't allow him to, you know, come into the box and have to face 3 guys, you know, by himself. So Papa was right there.
Attaboy, dude! Let's go! 1, get 1 and 3. Good job, Oliver.
You're going again. Yeah, baby.
Good job, Kyle. That's how you play ball, boy. Let's go!
Oh, I think you shot all 3 of those guys.
How do you win a 3-on-1 with a major penalty and burn it off and then lose the tournament? You know, it's like at that point, the paintball gods were shining down on us, and you just knew. You knew at that point that everything was going our way to win that tournament.
Oliver!
What?
You'll be coming up to the command center.
I don't like that.
What would you rather do?
Does is he goes.
Well, you're losing Blake going to the beast.
Yeah, I can make the beast.
They're shooting it now.
They're not, because they.
Usually the way I manage Oliver is if he has an idea of how he wants to do something, I usually make him like go win a point how I want it, and then I'll give him the next point. So at that point we're up 3-1, I just let him have a free hand because we're up in the points.
Impact wasn't playing JC for some reason, which was a terrible idea because JC was kind of their bulldog, kind of guy that gets there and gets in your face. At that point, they had kind of given up the X, if you ask me. And so I was just telling Rusty, hey, look, you know, give it to me, Rusty.
You gotta go to the command center.
Over in that rough. Just go right up the fucking center.
Okay, that's fine.
Because they can't.
But the problem is they're not standing in the mud and they're shooting up that gap.
They're not though.
If you get there quickly, you will murder the California guy.
Okay, let's go then, baby.
We always try to report back to him what we see, and I was just kind of telling him, hey, Rusty, let me get up there and do this, you know. And he always believes in me. If I tell him something, he'll say, okay, yeah, if you feel that way, then do it.
9 minutes on the clock. 5 guns up for Dynasty, and it looks like Edmonton Impact was able to make it to D1. Oliver Lang with his 12 pods diving into the 50-yard line. So he's going to be up there, and he's going to be up there with tons of ammo to expend. San Diego Dynasty are just really putting a ton of pressure and keeping Edmonton Impact from moving up.
Yeah, and Edmonton Impact's Justin Rabikoff gets shot right in the loader. He is going to walk off the field, and that might open up the door for Ryan Greenspan. Here he goes, bumping up into Dorito 2.
Look at how many pods Oliver has expended that are laying right next to him.
I was kind of thinking, look, I'm here, you know, there's not much time on this clock. We could potentially win this right now by just letting the clock run out, you know?
I actually had run out of air in that point because I got up into the 50 Dorito and I had no more air. Like I could only shoot 1 ball at a time. And I looked over at Oliver and Oliver's like, I got you. And I was like, tight.
It threw me off a little bit because he's like, hey, I'm Oliver, I'm right here. And I was like, okay, that's great. I like you there, but now who's looking this way? And I happened to just, you know, take my eyes off that for a minute.
And then all of a sudden I get shot in the back And I look over and, you know, Josh was behind me, and then I look over at Oliver and he's got a goggle hit. I'm like, what just happened right there?
Exactly the same way Blake shot Rainey, Ahmed did it to me, and then bunkered Ryan, which was a terrible defensive breakdown on our behalf. And Josh was able to, I think he shot 5 of us that game, which is unheard of.
Josh Wamette is going to town right now on San Diego Dynasty, moving up that Dorito side. And I think Josh Wamette might have just got a 5-pack there.
I think you're right, Josh.
We let a guy become a bandit. We didn't shoot at him. Yeah, we got to connect.
Tyler,
You weren't. You don't want to try the ball at the guy anymore.
Connect.
No, trust me.
I'm connected, baby.
Let's do it.
Next point. Ryan, short, stick up.
We're in the now, right now.
We weren't in unison, and that's what I was talking about with Ryan, is we need to be in unison, you know? I think everybody should just shoot egos, and we could shoot 14, 15 pods at these guys, and they'll never be able to go anywhere.
Conserve that paint, baby. Okay? Get that connection across. Okay? Let's go, you're the man. Tyler, you're the man, baby. This is for you. You're the mantis. Let's go, huh? Come on. You're the mantis, baby. Let's go.
Justin Cornell gets his first spin of the match. They send him out to the Dorito, and he gets shot. And Yosh Rao gets shot for San Diego Dynasty, so 4-on-4.
There's still a lot of time left in the match as far as, like, you know, them being able to tie us up or us going up a point. So we kind of just stuck to our plan, and then Josh Omelette, after shooting all 5 of us, goes out the next point. He got a major penalty.
Josh Wamette in there with Dave Baines. And
major penalty, I think, on Dave Baines.
Oh, yes, they got a penalty. Yes, slow now.
Leaves only J-Rab in the Dorito Tower, and I believe one of the Yakimak brothers. I make a move up the middle, pop up, shoot Yakimak out of the can, and he trades with me too. This leaves it to a 2-on-1 against J-Rab with a little bit time left on the clock.
It's a 1-on-2 right now as Tyler Harmon and Ryan Greenspan start to spread the field.
We knew we were up on points. So it was like, just let's burn the clock off, but we didn't know they got the penalty for a little bit. It took us a while to kind of figure it out. I was just going out there to spread the field out and just kind of stay alive.
They got a penalty, maybe figure that out.
Shoot the box, Tyler.
20 seconds.
Out of paint, just chill, dude.
Came down to a 2-on-2 at the very end once Dave came out of the box. Obviously we could have capitalized on them with just one guy, but the communication between myself and Tyler wasn't paramount. I was just kind of out in that corner, holding it down, watching the clock tick off, shooting a J-Rab, and then kind of like keeping Dave at bay and trying my hardest to make sure Tyler would stay alive. J-Rab was having a tough time shooting Tyler as a jack-in-the-box. He was like one of those bop-em moles. It was a little anticlimactic. It was a super boring game, and at the end it was like, I hope time runs out so we win.
Tyler likes to go to the moon and do his own thing, but he can also do some incredible things from the moon. Whereas an impact was really just kind of coming. There was no cohesion, you know, we were just trying to kill that time, and luckily we killed the time.
There we go! There we go! Dynasty! One more! One more! There we go! One more! Hell yeah! Let's go!
I think overall it was a good win because we played a lot of good teams all the way through. You know, we got to bump our Chaos. They played and went down in relegation, so we kind of deflated that hype bubble. Knocked Infamous out, who won Dallas and knocked us out. Beat Damage, who Dalton went to the previous year. And then beat Impact, who everyone was saying the most consistent team and should have won the series last year, and we beat them in the finals. So it was a lot of chips, and it was me coming back and getting a first win, coming back coaching. So also we had a gap where we didn't win last year. We had a lot of good events and then didn't. So it was nice to like reestablish, like, hey, we're still a dominant team.
If you take a tournament off or 3 tournaments off from hoisting the trophy, it always feels like a long time. The expectation to get first place is, I think, the reason that a lot of guys like playing for Dynasty, and also the reason why our players continue to work hard and haven't felt content over all these years, you know, stacking on a ton of wins and having a lot of success. It's just never really been good enough, you know. It's not about that, it's about that moment when you get to win.
It's gonna be weird to say and understand, but at this point, winning just feels normal, you know? It definitely always feels good, don't get me wrong, because the difference is, you know, now I realize the process that goes into a win, and the hard work that goes into getting everybody onto that level. And yeah, I guess you want to win by beating them down and hanging the flag and jumping around, but that's how the field was playing and that's how it works out sometimes, to just slow and steady. It's still the same hoorays in the pit that it always is, and it's always just that good inner smile.
Yeah, baby! Woo! Bomb, bomb, bomb. Bomb, bomb, bomb.
Good job, guys.
All right.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, wait, let's wait for Glenn. Hey, who else are we missing?
It's a bittersweet, man. Like I said, hey, we got where we wanted to be, and I'm happy about that, but I'm sad the experience is over.
Yeah, man.
I'm
already sad already.
Dude. I'm sad already.
I want to play paintball tomorrow. Who's next? Is there anybody else? Anybody else?
You know what?
Protect our village.
You know what's funny is that I am kind of sad.
I really am. That was a lot of paintball.
I'm ready to go.
It's already in the past.
And see that first practice.
It's already in the past.
I'm ready to see that first practice in your face.
Fucking true grit. Hey, we're a team, baby.
We do it for the love, baby.
Hey, the villagers. You know what?
We never went down. That was fucking
You know what
domination.
makes any beer taste good? Winning!
Ah! There we go, baby. 1, 2, 3, 2.
Look how small our team is.
DYNAST! DYNAST!
So we're out here in Chicago for the PSP. It's going on 6:30 right now. We were a little delayed on our flights because of weather issues, which looks like are rolling in right about now as well. Alex and Tyler, their flight was canceled, so they're not supposed to arrive until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, which is after our first game, so hopefully they're gonna get that sorted out. I'm not sure. Glenn's supposed to leave on a red eye tonight out of San Diego, which is most definitely gonna be delayed as well. So yeah, you know, there's been some hiccups here getting our guys here. You know, the weather-related problems, but hopefully we're rolling a little stronger than 6 guys for tomorrow morning.
FFRAIGE, Frazier. These guys, where are these guys, huh? Storm this bad, we gotta call these guys in. But they're here. Play with 6 if I have to.
I was kind of afraid that we were gonna have to play with 6 guys, but I was ready to play every point. You know, kind of having a heart attack. I was calling Alex, calling Tyler. Tyler's not picking up. Alex is calling, talking to his girlfriend, or you know, doing some sort of business. Bam! All of a sudden, they show up. So it was a nice surprise.
All right, made it just in time. Let's rock.
Just flew in our paintball gear. Slept at the airport. Got rerouted through Timbuktu.
Do not let these guys breathe at all, okay? Keep it coming out strong this fucking point.
They can beat you, but for the most part, if you don't completely blow it and have a bunch of penalties, you're gonna beat them.
187 was, I guess you would say, the warm-up match for us. They give us good games here and there, and they have sparks of brilliance, but at the end, you know, I think we're the better team. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. X Factor was coming into that event with some struggles of their own. They had some issues with flights and guys not showing up. Their pit crew wasn't there. So there was a couple of close points in the beginning, and then we kind of pulled away. After the MAO field, the boring stuff, I was stoked to kind of be able to play a little bit on that Dorito side. So sometimes I got to get up and have some fun out on that side a little bit and crush.
And here come down the far side of the field. Look at that on top of your screen. Look at the move.
Oh, Ryan Greenspan. And the slow patented Oliver Lang. Where did that angle come from? Walk off. Oh, Colt Roberts past the 50-yard line, but gets clipped cross field.
Archie Montemayor kind of looking. Oh, and Scott Kemp. Scott Kemp gets clipped. Yes, he does.
Wow. Where'd that come from, Todd?
So now Archie doing damage control, sprints all the way back. He's going to keep going. No one's picked him up yet. Gets all the way pretty much to the D side of the field. Billy Bernaccia has literally just been polishing paintballs. I think he's got a couple. Tyler makes his move, and he's going to, flying Tyler. Was he able to make this dive? And it looks like Tyler makes it work. So Tyler staying alive in the back. Tyler already has a 3-pack. He shot Scott Kemp, took out Billy Bernaccia and Colt Roberts. Ryan Greenspan trying to seal the deal, and he does. So nice teamwork by Tyler Harmon and Ryan Greenspan.
I think at that point was like kind of deflated the comeback effort. Whereas like that would have gave them the like kind of kick in the pits that they needed. Like yeah, you know, and then they would have came out stronger. Whereas they lost that, and it was kind of still raining on them.
Yeah, Dynasty. Yeah, Tyler. Let's go. Yeah.
Jump there.
Today's over. Tomorrow's a new day.
What we did today doesn't matter. Only matters what we do on the very next point. That's it.
What we did today matters to me.
I'm done, man.
We were glad that we accomplished the day, but you kind of always want a little bit more of a deep field reconnaissance. And when I say that, you know, that's playing against good teams that are doing the right things against you. And I wasn't fully satisfied with our game plan and how we were playing that, but because we had won our games, it's hard to change things. And that's kind of the pitfall to starting a tournament like that.
Turn it the fuck up! Right now! Every fucking point! D-Y-N-A-S-T! D-Y-S-T! Love you guys. Do it for each other, huh?
Better field position right now for Dynasty and a one-body advantage.
That was a great shot by Chad George right there. Oh, go down. I don't think he knows Oliver's there. It is now.
Oh, and I think he gets both of
nice
them.
shot.
And then Chad George ices Yosh Rao across the field.
Chad George showing us how to play that snake.
Oh, look at Brandon Short.
We didn't change anything, you know. We thought our plan was rock steady, you know, and it starts going back and forth. Then we get a penalty.
Blake just trying to do anything he could, but getting chopped up.
And right now, a minor penalty on Dynasty. They came on the field before the flag was hung.
There was nobody to pull, and they said, who's going in the box? And I offered to be in the box for the pod guy coming onto the field. I said, I'll be out in a minute, it's fine, no big deal. Kind of like coming out of the box, I'm pretty good at it. I spent lots of time in the box in my past years.
The advantage is up in Dynasty, 4-on-3.
That's going to allow the push for Dynasty to come.
Houston Heat conceded that point to maintain the penalty.
We'll get 15 seconds on the penalty. Okay.
Yep, you're good. You got 7.
Here comes Dynasty, still 4 players out. Only 10 seconds left for Oliver Lang to come out of this box.
Yeah, which way is he going to go? D side, snake side?
I ended up coming out that next point and playing it, and then played it for about a good 30, 40 seconds. Was in a good position, everything was happening. Bam, someone gets a penalty. I get shoved back into the box, which was really fun.
Not a lot of bodies left alive for Dynasty. I think it's just Ryan Greenspan in the back corner bunk. It's going to be a tough one for Ryan.
Oliver Lang back in the box.
And that's not the guy you want in the box.
No.
Not when you're now down 1.
Hey, stay composed. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Come here real quick.
Hey, we grit.
Hold in.
Focus.
Hey, honestly, this game is
grit.
Stop. Listen, this game's just going a little crazy because everybody's trying to do too much. We're getting penalties and whatnot.
Putting one of our best players in the box is obviously going to be detrimental to the team. Playing 4-on-5 is a tough thing as is, so we lost momentum, and they were able to capitalize big time on us.
I feel it, and I look down, and I can't see the hit, and I'm screaming back to Oliver to turn the other way. Well, that shot that I looked at actually broke. And while I'm screaming to Oliver, the ref is calling me out, and I have no idea.
Kyle's still playing, and so he's like, I gotta stop him. So like, points at him again, and then runs over frantically and like, kicked him in the back. I don't know why he did that.
There goes Oliver Lang again.
Poor Oliver has just been doing nothing but serving all of his buddies' times in the box.
Lots of time in the penalty box for old boy over here.
He spent all the match in the penalty box, and he's one of my guys that plays on both lines, and it definitely hurts when you have a guy that you're depending on a lot to be in the penalty box the whole time. I don't know why for this year, with all the stats, it seems kind of stupid that a guy gets a penalty and then someone different serves the penalty. So essentially their stats they're not going to get any time to play if they're serving penalties for other people.
That was great.
I think I spent a good, 5 minutes in the box that match for nothing I did.
We made mistake after mistake after mistake. We let some zones down, we fucking tried too hard, and we got penalties, We gotta remember that us with 5 alive, we're gonna win games, man. Everybody was on an island. I was sitting in the penalty box for most of the game looking, and nobody felt like they were connected. And that's our biggest thing this year, is connection. Okay, we gotta beat fucking Tampa now, okay? It's a win or go home, all right? It's that fucking simple.
The first point, the stupid horn on the other field blows, and 4 of our guys break early. So it was just me, and I think I shot one. I'm pretty sure I shot one of them, but it came down to a 2-on-1, and I didn't know that. I had no idea what was going on. It was ball 4 off the break. So we lost that point.
All 4 guys ran off.
They pulled you for that too?
Yeah, we all got pulled. Every single one of you guys got pulled from front.
Our game against Damage, it was win or go home for both teams. And we were prepared for that game. We knew what was on the line. And once again, it was Dynasty versus Dalton. We can't let Dalton win.
And that is, I believe, Jacob Edwards. And it looks like he gets shot, so nice job. Blake Yarber gets a shot on Jacob Edwards. This is gonna open the door for Blake to come around and smoke down Keith Brown. Ryan Greenspan puts a couple extra on him, and that is gonna do it. So San Diego Dynasty, 1-1 is the score.
On this field layout, it was really about who can capitalize on those big moves. And going into Dalton, he wants to get a little bit of payback for MAO. He doesn't want another little disgraceful loss as last time. And this was a good field for him to come down the Doritos. We were fighting back and forth. It was a close match.
Let's go out there and assert our dominance right now, man.
Hey, let's go to play a fucking 5-minute point right now. Okay, hey, bring extra paint, come to play a 5-minute point.
They had a 3-2 advantage, and we had shot 2 bodies, but we lost Alex running into the snake off the break, or at least shortly after getting to the snake. So we knew, I mean, there was still a lot of time on the clock, but we had a body advantage, and we knew that we needed to win that point to at least keep ourselves in the game. Tampa's a smart team, and if they get too big of a point advantage, they can win the match in just 1 point by killing the clock.
Timmy Probst makes a little risky move. Yosh Rouse has been pounding that snake, but Timmy Probst does get in there alive. They need to get their
I just saw an amazing shot. You see right there, Ryan Greenspan shot the blind shot on that far temple and just blew that guy's head off.
Yeah,
what a shot,
And
man.
now Ryan taking the advantage there, getting into snake 1 and looking at another shot on the Dorito 2.
We had 2 guys on the snake side, and Blake and I were on the Dorito side. But the game definitely got closer when Ryan made the big move and didn't end up trading out with Timmy. Kind of left it up to Short to make the right choice and work his way up the snake and then trade out with Timmy, leaving Blake and I with a 2-on-1 situation, which Blake did a good job of pressuring him, and either Blake or I shot him, but we ended up winning that really important point and tying the game up.
That was the game breaker right there.
Oh, minor penalty on, who is that?
I see a yellow flag come flying up out of our pit, so I hang the flag as quickly as I can, and we had apparently gotten another pit penalty.
God damn it, man. Sorry, brother. Don't worry. Don't give a shit. Okay. What do you want, Russ?
He goes out in the field early because the other buzzer went off again on the field, and he went out on the field. So we get a pit penalty, and we're like tied in the match, I think. And now they win that point. So there was like 2 points that could have went the other way.
Our team does a good job of playing super methodical and making people play into us. In this field, it was about being aggressive, you know, and I think we got away from that a little bit, which was probably some of the front guys' fault, mine and Blake, you know, from not pushing the team to go back towards that. But, you know, it was a team decision that we were gonna try to slow the field down a little bit when we should have been attacking, and it probably hurt us in the long run.
Dalton Vanderbilt just snuck into the 50 Dorito and shot Yosh Rao in the pack. Blake Yarber getting shot as well out of the corner, and here comes the hammer. Chad Bougere gonna run down Brandon Short and stuff him a couple times in the ear before Rusty Glaze can blow the horn.
Oliver, you going, man, believe, let's fight! Going over. Hey, no more blood. Right now, it's Blake, Glenn, Oliver.
Everybody was kind of down. I saw it in everybody's eyes, and I was like, guys, what the heck's going on here? There was just a lot of strange little voodoo hexes going on. Maybe it was because we talked so much shit the first game against them. And MAO, I don't know, you know, karma's a bitch.
The ball's in Dynasty's court. They have to push forward. Blake Yarber getting shot off that D side, Chris.
Yeah, that tit for tat. But there goes damage at the top of your screen to that 50 Dorito again, Todd.
Dynasty trying to reposition, but Ryan Greenspan playing all over that snake bunker and trying to figure it out, but he gets his loader peeled off.
It's not looking that great for us. You know, it felt like we had lost our whole Dorito side. The time was winding down. Tampa was in a position where they didn't have to move forward and try to be aggressive and win the point. They could just win the match by drawing the point out longer because they had a 2-point advantage. And then, lo and behold, the great Glenn Beanie came swooping in out of nowhere.
Oh, it's not looking good for Dynasty, boys. There goes Glenn
look at Glenn Takamoto.
Glenn Takamoto blowing it open on the D side, switching the field up, man. Oh God, Glenn Takamoto might be keeping his team in this game right here.
Oh, he absolutely is. He's gonna shoot this back corner guy out because he didn't even know he came on the field yet.
He did.
Look at Glenn Takamoto.
Oh my
God.
At that. Glenn Takamoto for San Diego Dynasty, keeping his team. That is one of the most clutch plays in a career of clutch performances for Glenn Takamoto.
Yeah, Glenn. That was sick, dude.
Glenn, Ryan, Short, Spica, Oliver.
2 minutes. Hey, 2 minute point, baby.
Bunkering people, shooting people on the run, and worked a little bit of his magic and got us right back into the game.
Damage is frantically putting pressure on Dynasty, shooting their lanes, trying to control Dynasty in their bumps. And here comes Brandon Short, getting in position. Here comes Kyle Spica, getting past the 50-yard line, now on Damage's side of the field. We're almost at the 1 minute mark.
Kyle gets into their snake, and I'm looking at our snake. Our guys move down that side of the field. You know, there's about a little under a minute left. I shoot out their snake can guy. Glenn shoots the guy in front of me, so that's G2.
Brandon and Oliver right behind me coming up into the snake. Brandon comes up into the tower that's right on the inside of the snake, and I'm not sure if he thought that I was a damage player, but he shoots me in the back, bunkers me.
Basically, I bunkered Spica out of their side of the snake and get shot at the same time, and Oliver dies at the same time.
I'm watching all of our guys go onto their side of the field, and we had just shot 2 guys. One of them came off their side, the other one came off our side. And Glenn ran up in front of me. I'm like, all right, sweet. We're gonna clean this up. We got this. And then all of a sudden I see one of the, like literally within 10 seconds, a damage guy jumps into our snake. And I was like, what just happened? And like I wrap around, Dalton had bunkered Glenn and was like kind of looking around and thought everybody's dead. So I shoot Dalton, and now I think there was like less than 30 seconds. And it was a 2-on-1.
Ryan Greenspan takes a run for it, goes to the 50, only 4 seconds left. It is not gonna be enough, and Dynasty will not get to play on Sunday, and Tampa Bay Damage has just punched their ticket into the semifinals on Sunday here in Chicago.
To tell you the truth, it was a bummer, of course. We did not play to our potential. Many minor things happened to us, and at this point of competition, doing this so long against so many great teams and so many great players, you can't let anything slip. You can't afford a funk. You can't afford these little tiny things that add up. You know, we won the MAO because every little thing worked out in our behalf. And here, every little thing did not work out in our favor. But this team's a hell of a team. It's actually probably the best group of Dynasty guys in Dynasty's inception to play with. It's never been more fun. None of us make any money, and we sacrifice a lot of time to do this, and we do it for each other. So it feels really good to really say that your brother here on your field is doing this because he loves you, and you love him.
Paintball's a game at the end. You know, it's our jobs. We are professional athletes. However, we're winning and losing with each other. So we're all the captains of the ship. We're all gonna go down together. So no one's gonna jump out and really point fingers. And we were laughing about it that night. Obviously we do take it seriously, and Brandon didn't really speak up and say exactly what had happened until we saw it on the webcast. He was a little quiet on that, but dude, we can't, what are we gonna do? What can we do now, aside from make fun of him a little bit? And he's gotta wear it because he did it. So I always say, it's gonna be a funny story later. Pretty much everything, you can add that into pretty much any bad situation, almost any bad situation. So obviously it's a funny story already. You know, we lost the event. Whatever, we're gonna have other events. We're gonna be able to redeem ourselves, I promise you. So in the meantime, let's make fun of Brandon for bunkering Kyle in like the biggest game of the season, and then getting shot right afterwards.
Doubt in my mind, blame, every bad sequence of events that happened that weekend on a thing called Mercury retrograde. Go ahead, Google it. It's pretty serious stuff.
We need one of those, like a shirt that has like all the logos on it, you know, so like,
the only reason I grew the mustache is so that, you know, kids can't draw a mustache on my face on any poster, you know, so it's already there.
Yeah, so yeah, Oliver went to the jungle.
Well, they always say that a dog always matches their master's personality. And I really feel like Bruno and Short are like two peas in a pod. I'm not sure who's really replicating the other. But I mean, when you see them together, they're just like, they just fit, you know?
For everyone out there watching, you know, the hair's gotta look good. Come on, I got the best hair in the paintball game.
He's got this frog poison stuff.
I think that Brad's beard might have some sort of magical powers in it.
That beard is timeless.
I wish Yosh would stick up for me a little bit more.
For Ryan to say that I don't back him up is bullshit.
Yosh always backs up Ryan, and I always back up Alex, and nobody backs me up.
A lot of people don't understand what goes into each and every jersey we create. The machines we use are complex, cunning, and efficient. But more importantly, it takes our imagination, spirit, and passion. Tested, proven, worn by champions. HK Army Custom Hardline jerseys, made in the USA.